Hello, everybody. Welcome to another pointless, meaningless episode of the show. I am your host, Harry. To the left of me is Tyson.
Let me talk to you.
And let's just go ahead and get into it. How was your week? It
It
seems kind
was
of weird. We just did this. And then, we had, how was your week?
did what?
The, the whole, we just talked about your week. And we're going to do the week thing.
Now we have to do the week on the air.
Yeah, it feels fake.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was a great week. A lot of exciting wrestling stuff. That's what I'm gonna
Exciting,
stick
huh?
with. Exciting.
Okay. What was the
Very
most exciting
pumped.
for you?
I mean, so many storylines. I'm so pumped. So many directions that we're gonna have to talk about.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
What, do you want to just get into it?
We can get into it.
All right, well, let's start with Raw. We're in San Jose, California. And Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, his husband, are both in the house. They're fresh off their Elimination Chamber victories. And after recapping the Elimination Chamber, Dominic is in the ring. And he brings out Ripley. Ripley gloats about walking in and out of her country as women's champion. And Seth's husband interrupts. And I didn't watch any of that. I actually skipped to Becky, or I'm sorry, I skipped to Nia Jax coming out, and she looked like Shaka Khan, and she destroyed Becky. Pearson Company saved Seth's husband from the bonsai drop, which was weird because any other time they just let whoever get assaulted, but Becky's around, gotta save her.
Well, this is Mania season. You gotta protect your main event.
Mm. And then
And it was probably better you didn't watch this promo, but I'm gonna have to talk about it anyway.
okay,
So yeah, we start Rhea Ripley. She gloats about her winning the elimination chamber, or I'm sorry, the main event. And when Becky comes out, she says, "You had a big night." Actually, we both had a big night. I mean, I won the elimination chamber. You main evented the elimination chamber. You had 56,000 people there watching you, your friends and family, which is good because now they don't have to come to WrestleMania to watch you lose. And then Becky Lynch talks about how Rhea Ripley has been the face of the division for the last 4 year, or I'm sorry, for the last year, but she spent more time getting fed grapes by Dominic, which she calls a kumquat. And she said something about she was running the division, to her being Becky Lynch, while writing a best-selling book. Then Rhea Ripley starts to talk again, and this is where it goes. Well, it doesn't go off the rails. Like she didn't like botch or anything, but it got me thinking. Like, how far are they going to go with this gender thing?
what
So
do you
Rhea
mean?
Ripley,
Oh,
well, okay, so Dominique tries to say something. Becky Lynch says, "Shut your mouth," or "Shut up." And so when Rhea Ripley gets back on the mic, she says, uh, don't talk to him like that." And then she says, "You know, just like a typical man thinking that you run things."
no,
And then she says, "Behind every good man is a greater woman, but in this instance, I'm not behind you. I'm in front of you, and after WrestleMania, I'll always be on top." So yeah, it's like how deep are they going with this gender thing?
I don't know.
Like,
I was out when anytime she goes, when the man has come around to wherever fucking city they're in. I hate her.
well, I do appreciate that she speaks in third person sometimes. I like a good third person talker.
Okay.
She doesn't say I. She says the man has come around. But yeah, I don't know. It felt like they were trying to sneak the woke agenda into this promo with the whole,
No.
"Oh, you're a man, but I'm gonna show you that a woman is greater.
They got 50% of the show is women. The woke agenda is all over the place.
Well, I guess we have to be okay with it. As
Well,
long as it's
yeah,
like
I mean,
100% women.
oh man, if it gets to that point, because
Yeah.
they can barely do 50%.
Yeah. We'll just have to. Yeah, we got the retro though.
Because I was just thinking, like, aside from Ripley, I mean, yeah, there's you got the Charlottes and the Biancas, but really Ripley's the only one that's worth seeing for me. And I can't stand her promo.
Well, the future looks good.
Yeah.
Um, oh,
Well,
there's a story
maybe.
we're gonna have to talk about later. It
Okay.
doesn't involve this, but it does involve the women. So
All right.
it'll be a good thing during our story segment. But yeah, after that, Nia Jax, as you said, she came out. She beat attacked Becky Lynch from behind. Ripley and Dom are just sitting in the entrance watching.
Mm-hmm.
One leg drop, two leg drops, and then she goes for the Annihilator, and then the officials break it up.
Yeah, and then Pierce showed extreme favoritism by threatening to fine Jax if she keeps hurting Seth's husband.
Yeah,
Like she's Nia Jax has been beating the shit out of everybody in the division, but as soon as Seth's husband gets involved,
yeah, you got to protect the main event.
that's bullshit. So yeah, Nia cuts a promo about how she should be, or how it should be her instead of the Seth's husband because she beat Seth's husband. So Jax is basically Drew McIntyre now. And then obviously they're setting up Becky to beat Nia. And yeah.
And that match is made for next week.
Yeah. Can't wait to not see that.
Yeah.
How many so they had the match a couple weeks ago? And that was the first match before she got her bloody nose, is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's basically 0-2. Okay.
Yeah, she has to overcome the Nia Jax.
All right.
But it makes you wonder what they're building Nia Jax up for still.
So she can get beat by Becky. We'll see what happens after the Becky match.
Yeah.
So Zayn beat Nakamura finally. I thought the hell of a kick to the back of the head was really cool. I don't know if he's done that before, but he should do that more. And he gave an interview later where he said he wouldn't be able to emotionally overcome another loss tonight. And then thankfully, Imperium interrupt his little bleeding pussy. And then Gunther, who's already beaten Sammy, looks at him and just laughs at him, as he should.
And that's tease number 1.
Yeah. And I skipped the bitches.
So to run through this, it's going to be Chelsea Green versus Raquel Rodriguez. Chelsea Green, before the match, they announced that CM Punk will be a part of the DLC of 2K24. So they got him in the game. So that was a big thing. Also, Pat McAfee's going to be there, and
Oh boy.
a couple other people. I saw Kyrie Sane is also going to be in the DLC. Yeah. So if DLC is your thing, there you go.
If you like paying
Like,
an additional fee for the fee that you already paid for the game, there you go.
yeah, why don't we release them when the game first comes out instead of doing this DLC? It's just a whole thing. Oh, speaking of the 2K24 game, and another thing about this game. So apparently, Brock Lesnar, he's going to be in the game,
Oh, is
but
he?
you can't
I thought
play
he
as
was
him.
going to be out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently it's too late to remove him. So, yeah, there you go. So he's in the game, but you can't play him.
It's stupid.
Yeah. So I'm already. So now I got to pay for a game, and I don't even get to play with all the people that's in the game.
I wasn't going to pay for it anyway.
And then there's the DLC thing. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Um, I was thinking maybe it'd be good for content purposes on the channel. Do like some game nights or something. I don't know. And maybe, just maybe, there might be a giveaway. Well, we'll see about that. That's a tease. Not. Don't write that in stone. Don't go doing anything yet. I'm just saying maybe we can give away a copy. I think I have enough credit. I got this all this trading credit with GameStop. Maybe got enough.
Trading credit.
Yeah, trade in games and then just let it sit there.
Hmm.
I was trying to trade
With
up to,
GameStop?
yeah. If you do it right, then you're not getting fucked.
Okay.
Like every once in a while, if you like, you gotta get lucky, of course. But every once in a while, WalMarts will have like $3 games, and I'll buy them and then trade them into GameStop, and then they
Oh,
usually get.
okay. So you basically steal.
No, I'm just transporting it from one store to another.
Mm. Okay. But
I'm
you're getting
delivering it.
you're getting more value for what you paid for.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not stealing.
Okay.
If I paid for it, that's not stealing.
Well, you're going in there and you're saying that you purchased this game, right? Oh no,
That
you
is,
said it's a trade-in.
yeah. So I buy it
Oh,
at
okay.
Walmart for $3, trade it in for more credit at
That's
GameStop.
not okay. I take that back. That's not stealing. It'd be different if you were like exchanging it
Oh,
for store credit or something.
yeah,
My bad.
that'd be
I got
stealing.
confused. Well, Cody Rhodes had an interview after.
Oh wait,
Oh,
that was just the 2K24 thing, and then yeah, Chelsea Green. She said she was competing in protest because she was going to win the battle royal, but they put in Raquel Rodriguez as a last minute mystery opponent, and um, so yeah, she's competing in protest, and then Raquel beats her in like a minute.
glad she's back. I hate her theme song.
You don't like it?
No, I hate it. I hate everything about her.
I think it's about time that maybe she gets like a new gimmick, because her gimmick right
Maybe.
now is just the back flex thing.
Yeah. She's so strong. And she's not. Or she might be, but she's not. I don't know.
She's, I mean,
She doesn't have the
she's big,
body. She's big, but she doesn't have the body to be that. You know what I mean? She's not like Lex Luger.
right?
Like when Dana Brooke did it, she at least had guns. Rodriguez
Well,
has like slight definition, but she's not muscular.
well, you don't know what her bench and her squat is.
That's what I said. She might be strong. She might legit be strong, but she doesn't look. She doesn't look like what they're trying to portray her as. So when
She
she's
doesn't have the
flexing her
bodybuilder.
non-muscles, it just doesn't work. She looks stupid. It's like the guy with the beer gut saying he has a six-pack.
Well, I would equate her to not a physique thing, but kind of, I don't know, equate her to like Austin Theory, who seems like all he is like, oh, look at my physique. He doesn't really have like a personality that we can connect with. And
That's
I
true.
say the same for Raquel. She doesn't have like, she needs something more than just flexing.
The
Like, let's
difference
give her
between
a character.
the difference though is Theory can go, Raquel can't.
She can go.
Mm-mm.
She's got that comebacker clothesline thing. Looks pretty good.
Mm.
Fall away slams.
Mm.
Tahana bomb.
Mm,
So
she's got her face.
what?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't like her.
But remember, take this all when I'm saying this stuff. Take this with a grain of salt because I'm not a Matt classic guy. So all you got to do is be efficient in the ring, and I'm good. I'm good with it. I ain't gonna sit there and look for Panama sunrises and all the shit.
Yeah, but if you wrestle like Maxine Dupree, kind of takes you out of the suspension of disbelief.
Well, that's the story we're gonna get into.
Oh, okay.
It's all about Maxine.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough about Raquel. So Cody Rhodes had an interview, and the lady asked Cody if it's smart to challenge The Rock when he has a WrestleMania match right around the corner. And Cody says he slapped me, so he can answer my challenge on SmackDown. And then he talks about his match with Waller later, which I had no interest in.
Yeah, I was like, wow, they're really not trying on these main events, huh?
Nope, not at all.
Which is good. It helps me get to, end the
Catch up
show
on my
quicker.
notes. Yeah. Next up, we have Gunther. He comes out with Imperium. And Gunther says after defeating Jey Uso last week, he stands here still, the longest and greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. And then you know what? Gunther tells the truth. He says that the match he had with Jey was really close. He said for the first time in his entire reign, he actually felt the title slipping away from his grasp. He says he got lucky. He says no one is perfect, but he is very, very close. How fucking awesome is Gunther?
He is good at being a prick.
Well, no, like he comes out and he could, because most heels would just say, "Oh man, I just beat his ass." But no, he came out. He almost had me.
Yeah, he's good.
Put some respect on his name. I need some more enthusiasm out of the ring general.
Which is interesting because I heard that name again, or I heard that moniker again.
With who?
They called Bret Hart that.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, look.
No, he's the ring general. Gunther is the ring general. Difference. So Gunther says that he's held the belt for 600 plus days and has beaten everyone along the way. So the only question right now is who is he facing at WrestleMania? Gunther says, I don't live under the rock. I've been seeing what you nerds have been saying on the internet, saying that I should be facing Sami Zayn. Crowd cheers a little bit. Or Chad Gable. Crowd cheers a little bit. Or The Miz. Crowd cheers a little bit. He says it's worse. They even say it should be R-Truth. God, I hate the crowd.
Yeah. And I haven't seen that. Like, I don't know what sources he's going, but I haven't seen that once.
Oh no,
R-Truth.
people have. There's been a couple of people that.
Those people are idiots.
Yeah, maybe
They
not
didn't even watch the product.
maybe not necessarily R-Truth at WrestleMania, but R-Truth getting an Intercontinental title shot.
Yeah, this. I don't think those people should be talking about wrestling stuff. You leave it to the professionals over here.
Okay. Well, as soon as they come, we'll step aside. But for now, we'll push on. Then the Judgment Day interrupts, which is interesting. And Priest says that they don't sweat Gunther, and his reign is second only to their tag team championship reign. And they won their matches at the Judgment Day won all their matches in Elimination Chamber, so they want to do the same at WrestleMania. Only this time they're coming for more gold, and that means Gunther's Intercontinental Championship. So Gunther wants to know which one of them it's going to be. Am I going to face you or the one with the big head? Talking about McTurd. And then Mysterio gets in Gunther's face to say that they're taking the Intercontinental title from Gunther, whether he likes it or not. Then Gunther gives Dominic a little shove, and then Priest loses it. Keeps saying that he saved Gunther's life. And that he looks stupid, even though Priest is the one wearing the eyeliner. And at the time, it looked like we're getting Priest versus Gunther. But it looks like we're getting Gunther versus Dominic Mysterio.
And
Don't
so
you
first of all,
fucking say it.
I hope it's not Priest, because last year we cashed Money in the Bank on a mid card title, and if we do it again, I mean, he didn't cash it in, and he didn't hint that he was going to cash in. Like, seems like he's just going to try to go after the title without cashing in. But it sets a bad precedent for that Money in the Bank if we again cash it in on mid card title.
Right. Well, it already set a bad precedent. Because now it's like, oh, which title are they going to cash it in on now?
They got to drop those tag titles, which I assume it's going to come at Mania. And it opens Pandora's box. But back to Dom. I'm not saying he should beat Gunther or anything, but
Okay.
I'm not against him getting a title shot.
God. Why?
I don't know. I just think it would be good for his character. I think it would fit his character to get a title shot.
Why?
He needs something. What's he going to do at WrestleMania?
Why does he need to be at WrestleMania? He's done nothing but lose. Him and McTurd are losers. They're the losers of Judgment Day. Why do they need to be at WrestleMania? They can stand at ringside while Priest and Finn Balor have their tag match.
I don't know. I just think you want to get Dom in there. He's one of the bigger names on the roster. He's definitely a heat magnet, and he gets a reaction.
Okay.
So
He can
I
get a
don't know.
reaction from ringside. You don't have to waste a Gunther match.
Well, it seems like there's the painting on the wall doesn't seem like it's going to be a one-on-one match for Gunther.
Mm.
It seems now. I say this, but things have changed now that SmackDown came around. But it seems like they're going to do a multi-man match because you got your tease with Sami Zayn. To skip ahead a little bit, you had Gable talking about getting a title match. Bronson Reed was on the phone talking about a title match, and this is for the Intercontinental title, all these guys. Andrade stuck his head into the whole picture, and then Dom. So Zayn, Gable, Reed, Dom, Andrade. That's 5, and then Gunther makes 6. So before what happened on Friday, and we'll talk about that later, it seems like they are headed for like some kind of multi-man thing.
God, that would be stupid.
Well, here's the deal. It gets us out of So remember we had that conversation about Gunther not losing the title or not being pinned and then going after the world heavyweight title. Well, there's your out right there. He's on the this multi-man thing. He doesn't have to take the pin, and then he loses the title and he goes on to the heavyweight title picture. Um, the only thing about that is, it wouldn't make much sense for him to lose the title and then not come out like the next night on Raw and be like, "Hey, I never got pinned." But that's your out. You wanted it out. How he stays undefeated or stays unpinned, not undefeated, but unpinned, and goes on to the main event picture. There it is.
Yeah, he's not undefeated.
Yeah, he's lost twice by DQ.
What
Well,
was the
one,
second time?
sorry, not by DQ.
He lost
He
once by countout.
he lost the count out, and then Imperium lost a 3-man tag,
Oh, I think.
but he didn't get pinned.
Well, I mean, if we're counting the tag matches, then I think he's lost quite a few.
But yeah, we haven't seen him pinned yet. So if you want to avoid that, but then have him drop the title and go on to the main event picture, there's your out.
I guess I just don't want to see a multi-man match. I don't want to see the. I don't want to see the only guy I want to see in a fucking 6-man match.
Well, the other option, as I guess we can talk about it, since they've already opened Pandora's box here. Night one, you have the 5 guys competing, and then the winner goes on to night 2, 1-on-1 with Gunther.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the other option.
They did open Pandora's box. Damn them.
Yep, they've opened it to a wide. Now anything can happen.
Well, personally, I would have rather see Gunther and Priest. I think that's the better match. I don't know why 2 heel factions are going at each other, though. It's kind of weird.
It is weird.
Unless, are they turning Gunther face? Are Imperium going to have a face run? I don't know if Gunther works as a face though.
I mean, he would just be the same character. Just, I guess he wouldn't insult the fans.
No, because then they'd have him do jokes and shit. No, he can't be a face. Not in WWE.
He was a face in NXT.
Was he?
Yeah, and he was pretty much who he was, but they just respected him because he's the ring general.
Okay.
So he got cheered because he was beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, I just don't think Dominic. He was the North American champion. For God's sakes. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to Dragon Lee?
Oh, they got some new guy who's the champion now. Umbaku or something.
Umbaku?
That is actually a Black Panther reference. And this guy is like a African. I mean, he looks impressive.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like he looks like a defensive lineman.
Mm.
And yeah, he's African.
Oh,
I
is
don't
he
know
the
his
big
name.
thick dude? He kind of looks like Keith Lee.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
He's the champion now. So,
Umbaku.
and it seems like they're big on him too.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks impressive. I'll give him that. I haven't watched NXT in a while, so I haven't seen too much of him. I just saw the match against. He had a match against Dragon Lee. Unfortunately, it was like a competitive thing because they wanted to do that. So, but he like went in there and wrestled 15 minutes with Dragon Lee, and he wasn't like fumbling all over himself. So, if you're looking at the wrestling aspect of it, he did good as a wrestler. So you can see that he can actually do the wrestling thing. Although that should have been a squash match because he's like 200
Mhm.
pounds more than Dragon Lee.
Right.
He should have thrown his ass across the ring and it'd been over.
Well, they don't know how to. Well, yeah, they don't do that well.
Well, again, it was in NXT, so that is development. So
Yeah, you
they're
should
trying
be
to,
able to develop a squash match.
well, they're trying to get him some work. So
Okay.
when he gets to the main roster, he'll get debuted again. When he's on the main roster, then that's when it counts.
When
Like
he's
no one
on,
watches NXT. Let's just put it out there. No one watches NXT. So when he debuts on the main roster,
when he's
then
on
we'll
the
see
main
what he's about.
roster, he'll be a gangster.
He might. Well, Vince is not there anymore.
Oh, that's true. What stereo? Damn.
I mean, he who shall not be named is not there anymore. I should say.
No, you already said it.
Okay. Well, I let one slip, but not
Okay.
anymore.
There you go.
Kept it up a good, I don't know, 5 weeks or so. So
Yeah. So Imperium finally beat New Day, and Vinci and Kaiser both nailed Woods in the head with a chair, and Kaiser still had to grab the tights, so they couldn't just let him win. And New Day actually had a cool look, and they should have done something different with their knee pads, though. I thought that looked weird.
well, it was actually a pretty entertaining match. I didn't expect it to be, but as they said it themselves on commentary, this feud has lasted 2 years. So, but
Has
yeah,
it been
it's
two
pretty good.
years?
That's what they said on commentary.
Okay. Felt like 2 years, I'll say that. So Adam Pearce is backstage, and Chad Gable comes in and he gives a sob story about why he should face Gunther because his daughter cried. That's pretty much it.
Yep, and he was on the phone with Bronson Reed.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I was saying. They've teased 5 men around this title, so maybe they do, as I said, the something that night one leads into night two, since they've already opened that box. And I was just going to talk about. I had it all ready to talk about. It's like, can we stop with the something happens on night one and go into night two thing?
Mm-hmm.
Because it kind of diminishes night one. If you like, that's just telling you, oh, you just need to watch night two because that's where all the big matches are happening. Night one is just like the setup. It's basically a glorified SmackDown.
I agree.
But seems like we're rolling forward with it.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It just seems like the laziest, least creative way to do it to me. But we'll get there. Also, Chad Gable's like won one match since losing to Gunther. So how the fuck does he have the balls to ask for a title match?
He's also been playing comedy, so there's
Yeah,
that too.
I just don't get that. So I skipped the tag match. Haven't they wrestled like 100 times already?
Um, this would be Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. They've wrestled a couple times, yeah,
Okay.
and it ended the same way with Baszler and Zoe winning. Tap out Candice LeRae with the. I'm sorry, not Candice LeRae. Indy Hartwell tap out with the Kimura lock. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, golly, with the Karafuda clutch.
Well, I tapped out when R-Truth called DIY DX again. So Fuck that.
It is not DX. It is Regeneration X.
I don't care.
Oh, wait, no. Sorry. He did call them DX.
Yeah, he calls him DX.
And then now he made a new name and it's Regeneration X, and that would be DIY, R-Truth, and The Miz. They're Regeneration X,
Great.
which, crazy enough, could actually work.
The retardation X.
I don't know if The Miz, I mean, I guess he's going to have to be in there, but I don't know. It could work with those four guys. They could get over Regeneration X, and then they did the crop chop, and yeah, I mean they could probably get that over.
God, that just makes my balls itch just thinking about it.
It's it's PG Generation X.
We already got that.
With who?
D-Generation X. They came back during the PG era.
This is not D-Generation X. This is Regeneration X.
Yeah, but if it's gonna be the same shtick. What I'm saying, you just said it's gonna be PG, blah 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 blah.
I know.
I said we already got that. We got PG D-Generation X. D-Generation X did that. You can't do it better.
I mean, they didn't have all the pieces though.
They had enough. They had the main pieces.
Well, I don't know. This could get over. This could work. Also, last
you also say Karrion Kross was going to get over with his new thing, and
still he might. He ain't got a chance yet.
He's dead.
We gotta wait till after WrestleMania.
He's floating. He's floating down the stream.
You gotta wait till after WrestleMania before that really kicks up.
Okay. Drew McIntyre comes out next. And Drew looks hard in the camera and he says, "We did it. I didn't do this alone, so I wanted to thank everybody that put their hands together to pray for this moment. Elimination Chamber took a lot out of me. I'm jet lagged, and I was actually hurt. And after that, an incident occurred, and doctor told me that I might not make it to WrestleMania. I said, 'Who do you think I am, CM Punk?' And then McIntyre sits like Punk in the middle of the ring. Poor choice since he was wearing his dress. He even told the cameraman not to look up his kilt.
Not even that. He looked like, I don't know. It looked like he's not able to sit that way.
No, not
like his legs were not. He didn't look comfortable at all. We'll just say.
Yeah. So then McIntyre addresses.
I was gonna say. I mean, I was just thinking if I had to sit like that. I wonder how long I could last. Probably like 2 seconds before my legs are asleep.
Yeah.
I gotta. Oh, help me! I'm not that flexible.
You're still sitting, still kind of gingerly getting up while the next match is beginning. Hold on, guys.
Oh,
don't touch me! Don't touch me! Ah. So then McIntyre addresses Punk. He says he knows it. He kills him to see McIntyre in the position to face Rollins, while Punk is just alone at home, eating Cheerios, thinking what could have been. He says he thought of Punk after Elimination Chamber and wanted to do something for him. Since Punk's straight edge, McIntyre drank twice as much on the way home from Australia. And McIntyre calls out Rollins. And he wants to know why he's fighting SmackDown battles when he's the Raw champion and belongs on Raw, which is true. He says, when McIntyre
that was said.
What's that?
I said, I wonder where that was said.
Right?
on an unseen clip, of course.
McIntyre says when he's champion, his only concern will be Raw, and SmackDown could go fuck themselves. Then he begs Seth to back off the bloodline shit. He says they could have a classic match, but the way Seth is heading, the bloodline is going to cost Seth the victory, and McIntyre's going to take his title, which is kind of interesting. Like the way you're doing this, like we could have a classic match, just you and me, but you're kind of defeating yourself here, buddy.
And I love how he just like laid it out exactly as exactly as it's probably going to happen.
Right. Because I do think Seth's going to lose.
Oh, he's losing.
Yeah. Ron says some risks are worth taking. McIntyre might be right, but what if he's wrong? And then he brought up his daughter, and I stopped giving a shit.
Basically said when you have a child, when you have a daughter, you see that the world's not just about you. His pretty much the duration of his career, he's only thought about himself. So he's willing to, now that he's had his daughter, he's opened his mind to a bigger world, I guess. So he's willing to sacrifice his title, he said, to get the title away from Roman to save the company, I guess. And again, like you're just diminishing your title, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how McIntyre just said, if you know what's gonna happen here, you're gonna keep going down this road, and then we're gonna have a match at WrestleMania. It's gonna be a banger match, and then the Bloodline's gonna interfere, and I'm gonna beat you, and it's gonna taint my victory.
Right.
So please stop this. Like
I'm begging you,
you're
Seth.
just thinking about yourself.
I can just beat you fair and square, but the way it's going. Yeah. McIntyre's great. I never thought I would enjoy him. I know I keep saying that, but it still surprises me.
And yeah, and he keeps building towards the CM Punk thing too.
Oh yeah, that's definitely happening. I think he's beaten Rollins, and then it's gonna be Punk and McIntyre.
Yeah, when he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see. I think it'll be a nice touch. So if either Punk is like the host of WrestleMania or he's on commentary, and then he has to call McIntyre
Yeah, that would be great.
winning the title, like that would be a good little touch because it is like the whole story here is McIntyre's rubbing it in that he basically took Punk's spot,
Right.
and there was a story that it was that was going to be the match, Punk versus Rollins, so he really did take his spot.
Right.
So it makes it even better.
And Punk would sell it.
Yeah.
And then McIntyre, of course, he would play into it. Yeah, that would be great. I heard that there was rumors of him possibly thinking about doing commentary, but I don't know if anything has been set in stone yet. Well, obviously
It
not.
hasn't. But he did. That's what I was saying at that the WrestleMania kickoff show. He said, my arm might be broken, but my mouth's not.
Right.
So don't count me out of WrestleMania just yet. He said that. So pretty much said he's either hosting or he's going to be on commentary.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So Nia Jax and Liv Morgan was an assault on all 5 fucking senses.
And it ended in no contest.
It did.
Because Becky Lynch came out and attacked Nia Jax. And
Instead of ending in 5 seconds, It ended in a no contest.
Yes. And then post match, Becky Lynch was backstage, and she's talking to Pierce about getting her match against Nia Jax. She can't go on to WrestleMania until she takes care of this. Liv walks in and said, by the way, right before Becky Lynch attacked Nia Jax,
Mhm.
Liv Morgan got like a modified Samoan drop into the ring post. So she's backstage and she tells Becky, "What are you doing? I was handling something out there. Not everything's about you."
Everything's about you.
She was getting her ass kicked,
Yeah.
and then
Not
she's
enough, man.
complaining about um, Becky interfering. So yeah, just to point that out.
Liv Morgan's the size of Nia Jax's leg. So for that to have lasted as long as it did was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a squash, but
It should have
it is
been.
Liv Morgan. Hashtag we want Liv.
Well, hashtag you're idiots.
There you go. You get on them too.
I've been on them. So they actually mentioned Ole Anderson on WWE television, which was pretty amazing. Although Vince isn't around, so there's that. But yeah, Ole Anderson passed away this week, unfortunately.
As did Virgil.
But more importantly, Ole Anderson passed away. Nah, Virgil was important too. Rest in peace, both of them.
Yes.
So Jey Uso had. Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I wasn't going to say anything.
All right. Jey Uso had an interview. He says he's going to keep being main event Jey Uso after losing to Gunther last week. So can you be a constant loser and still refer to yourself as main event?
Yeah.
Okay. Jay says he's always coming up short. Always coming up short. And either his enemies on Raw or his own family are costing him his victories, but he's still coming up short. McIntyre comes in to say Jay deserves it, and then Jay and McIntyre start fighting.
McIntyre still being his heel.
Yep. I like how he just comes in and instigates shit.
Yeah. And that match is also set up for next week.
Of course it is. We didn't see that recently enough.
Yeah.
So Cody beat Grayson Waller. Earlier, Waller had an interview where he said Cody attacked his boy Theory, and he did everything he could to help him. And Theory looks at Waller, kind of weird, and it kind of looks like we're building to a Waller and Theory split at some point. Maybe Theory's going face, possibly.
I think of the two, Waller would be the face, but I don't know.
Okay.
Then I don't know.
I guess it could go either way. It doesn't really matter with them.
Yeah. There'd be a battle of no one cares.
Right. And yeah, I said I predicted it'd be Cody and Theory, or Theory and Cody next week. And Theory's going to piss Waller off by saying how he couldn't beat Cody. But I didn't have to wait till next week. After the match, Heyman comes out with a few goons who later turn out to be NYPD cops who were suspended. And Cody immediately grabs a chair. Heyman starts to do his introduction, and Cody interrupts, loses his shit, tells Heyman and the Bloodline to just come and get him. Heyman says he's the only member of the Bloodline at Raw. Heyman tells Cody to withdraw his challenge or to The Rock or else. Cody sucks The Rock's dick, then tells Heyman to come and get him. Like he's like, oh, everybody's a fan of The Rock. We all grew up as his fan. Okay, we get it. It's kind of like when Machine Gun Kelly did his diss track to Eminem, where it's mostly like, yeah, you're the GOAT, blah, 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 blah. So you can't feud with somebody and then compliment him at the same time. It doesn't work.
Well, Eminem took care of that with his reply track or his rebuttal.
His kill shot.
Yeah, he took care of him. He went hard on him.
Well, Heyman heads to the ring with his NYPD goons. And there was a fan yelling at each of them saying, you suck, and you suck. So I thought that was kind of funny. And Heyman tries to get in the ring. Cody, it's like, no, don't get in the ring. So the goons get in the ring. And Cody, he grabs his chair and he says, one more motherfucker moves. Everybody's getting dropped. And Heyman says, unless that person's me, right? Cody says, wrong. So then Cody assaults 3 police officers with a steel chair. And Cody tells Heyman that the bloodline's not hunting them, he's hunting the bloodline. Then he assaulted the police officers again. And it was kind of like Cody took bath salts before his match tonight, because I don't know, he was just kind of unhinged.
He's done playing Mr. Nice Guy.
Is that what it is?
Fed up with it, yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't work for me. Guys, is this a setup? Is this a setup? Give me.
And where was Rollins? But I guess he hasn't like accepted Rollins' help yet.
No, was Rollins even there?
Yeah, he was there.
Oh yeah, he was with McIntyre. Forgot. He's so forgettable.
Well, he's supposed to be helping. He's supposed to be helping Cody here, and he's nowhere to be found.
Well, you saw Cody take out 3 dudes.
I know, but he should have showed up before that. Like when they surrounded the ring, he should have, been out there. It's all leading to a possibility that's coming.
You still think Rollins is going to turn?
Well, I don't think that. But I'm saying they're painting the picture that it could happen.
Okay. Well, that was Raw.
Well, the best part of that whole segment was at the end, or at least for me. So after Cody Rhodes takes out the NYPD, Paul Heyman, he's shown in the entranceway and he's doing his usual stick. So he pulls out his phone and he says, call Roman Reigns. And he's got the Roman Reigns logo on the phone. And then he pulls out another phone and he says, call The Rock. So Heyman's out there with 2 phones. That was the best part of it all for me.
Just the dual phones?
Yeah, the fact that he pulled out 2 phones.
Okay.
I don't know if it was like too much to read into, but one was a iPhone Pro, the 15 Pro Max, but one was in the Rock's phone was the base iPhone 15. I don't know if that said anything. Like, Roman had the top of the line phone, The Rock just had the baseline phone. I don't know if that's a clue.
I would just think that one would be Heyman's actual phone and the other one would be his secondary phone, which he used for skits where he has 2 phones, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It was just worth mentioning, just in case.
Okay. Well, if that cell phone storyline pans out, we'll You heard it here first, folks.
Yep. That's that's how we get ahead of stuff, by noticing the small things.
Yeah. So that was Raw. You want to do your shills?
Yes, we are on our way to 500 subscribers. So, if you want to help us out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and follow us on all the social medias. We're everywhere. The show podcasts, and that's it.
Cool. So on to SmackDown. It's in Glendale, Arizona. And immediately we get the bloodline. It's Roman, Heyman, Solo, and Jimmy.
Oh,
Oh,
before SmackDown, did you see the Rock's little? Well, you probably didn't. The Rock's promo on social media.
mm-mm.
So Friday before SmackDown, The Rock cuts a 21-minute promo. So,
God damn. I'm glad I didn't see that shit.
well, it
I would
was,
have seen the runtime. Like, I'm sorry. No, thank you. What is he doing? A
yeah, you
movie?
probably, well, you probably, yeah, wasn't interested in it, but I want to mention it because it does tie in to everything. So
Mhm.
let's play the clip. Okay, I just said that. So anyway, I said that for the editing.
Okay.
So just pretend that we had the clip. So yeah, he cuts his promo. He's like, I don't know, he's in a tank or sleeveless shirt. He's like outside somewhere. So he just did this recorded it on his phone. The gist of it is he ran down like the reason why he's upset with Cody Rhodes. He buries Seth Rollins again. Um,
He
so it
has a
says,
real problem with how he dresses. I do appreciate that.
yeah.
That's
So
something we can agree on.
he told Cody Rhodes that The Rock, he came out on the day one edition of Raw, and he asked the crowd there, should he sit at a booth, should he sit at the bar, or should he sit at the head of the table? And the crowd agreed that he should sit at the head of the table. Fast forward to um, SmackDown when he came out and confronted Roman Reigns, and he said, Cody Rhodes, you gave up your spot. You said that not at WrestleMania, and The Rock whispered into your ear that we're going to make this the biggest WrestleMania of all time. We're going to feed our families. And you agreed. You agreed. And you left the ring. And then I saw you. We see you again at the kickoff show. You and The Rock, we had a conversation beforehand, and you were okay with it then. And then all of a sudden, I show the family tree, and then now you want to change your mind. So that's why I have a problem with you. Not that I get it. You won the Royal Rumble, and if you would have just when The Rock first came to tell you that he wanted to do this, and if you just told me that I won the Royal Rumble, I need to finish the story, then we wouldn't have a problem. But the fact that you changed your mind, that's that's what I have a problem with. So that's what he basically, tried to.
So he's putting it on Cody.
Yeah, that was the bow he tied for the whole Cody reason.
So I
And
came
then
to
he,
you gave me your spot, and you took it back.
yeah,
Gotcha.
like if you would have said
And your
no, I
boy
won the
dresses like a
Rumble.
bitch.
Well, and then he got to Seth Rollins.
Oh, okay.
He didn't even assault his. Well, he did call him the walking clown emoji,
Yeah.
and
They
he
probably told
said,
him to cut down on the cross dressing stuff.
"Yeah, like you can't really do that anymore."
Yeah. The Netflix guys were there, and
So yeah, he said, and then Seth Rollins, or no, and he said, and then you went out and you got a new best friend. And he said, and Seth Rollins, The Rock doesn't even know who you are, and trust me, you don't want to know The Rock that way. And he went on to say, Seth Rollins, you go out there and you've been running your mouth about how WWE doesn't need The Rock anymore and how they've taken the WWE to new heights. And this is the part that he just like obliterated Seth Rollins. He says, well, first he says, if you weren't so, uh, if you weren't so dumb, I'm sorry, if you weren't so, I don't know, you'd have to be smarter to realize how stupid you are, basically. And then he says, do you think when Ari Emanuel, The Rock's friend for 20 years, the man that The Rock looks at like a big brother, do you think when Ari Emanuel went and sat with the people at Netflix to sign a $5 billion deal for Raw, do you think they said, is Seth Rollins going to be champion? He said, they don't even know who you are. He said, they didn't ask that. They asked if The Rock was going to be there. So, yeah, that was his complete burial of Seth Rollins.
It's kind of
Like,
true.
yeah. So Seth Rollins just taking it
Yeah.
in
I
this whole
mean,
thing.
he's good. He's not like the guy good. I don't
True.
think, at least. He might be a good like top heel or something like that, but as far as like the face of the company, that's just me.
True. But yeah, he's just but yeah, that's what he did. This being The Rock, that's what he did on social media before coming to SmackDown. So now that all that was for some context of what happens on SmackDown.
All right.
Oh, and then at the very end of the whole promo, he said, uh, "Cody Rhodes, man to man." Oh, sorry, there was more to that promo. He also then talked about the the podcasters.
Oh, great.
Specifically, he called out like Busted Open Radio
Okay.
because what's his name, Dave LaGreca, or is it not Bubba or Mark Henry, the other guy?
No idea.
Anyway, um, apparently he went on this the night that The Rock came back. He went on this rant about how he hates The Rock, and he's like, I mean, obviously not the person, but the character. I hate The Rock, and then so he plays this little clip, The Rock, and he says, "Do you see the bullshit that I have to deal with?" He's like, "This is a grown man in a pink bathrobe with a Cody Rhodes shirt. Like you don't listen to this." Or sitting in his basement talking about being a Cody crybaby. He's like, you don't listen to this guy. You put him in a straitjacket. So apparently that got some more talking because he called out the Busted Open Radio. But I don't know. That clip was a little embarrassing for everybody in the content
Yeah.
side.
Well, when he first started his Pat McAfee thing, where he's like, "Oh, you got these grown men whining about wrestling," I think a lot of us should have taken a step back and like, yeah, let's put things in perspective. So I think, I don't know, have an emotional tirade saying that you hate somebody.
Yeah. Um, but he did separate the person. He's like, it's not the person. I hate his character.
Yeah, but you're
So
still, I hate him. Ah, going on a rant, a tangent.
yeah, and then yeah. So at the end of this whole thing, he said, "Cody Rhodes, man to man, from the bottom of my heart, fuck your story." And that's how it is.
There you go. Oh man, that meme makes sense then, because there was
Oh,
on Twitter, I saw that somebody put a caption on, when he's hugging Cody
Yeah.
on SmackDown. It said, "From the bottom of my heart, fuck your story."
Yep. Pretty much it.
I was like, that's funny. It'd be funny if The Rock said that.
Yeah, so he did it on social media. You can't say that on TV.
Right. Okay, well, so that brings us to SmackDown, and judging from the signs, it looked like it was a very mixed crowd. There was a big old Cody sucks thing. It was like one of them cutout things.
Yeah.
And Dwayne's fans try to boo over Cody's fans, and it's just not working out for him. And then Roman asks the fans to acknowledge him, and he's not satisfied. So Roman says they're packing it up, going home. Paul says that, Rock has to come out first. And then they did this whole fucking segment with Mark Kerr. Well, okay. Heyman said, let me introduce The Rock after this commercial break. But first they did this little segment where they introduced Mark Kerr, who's a UFC legend, which I don't know why they don't feature WWF legends, on the wrestling show instead of people from another sport. That's just me. But they
Well, I
did
didn't
this
even
whole
see this.
oh yeah, this motherfucker is just sitting in the stands, and they introduce him, and then they said the Rock will be playing him in this movie, and then they go on this whole fucking thing hey, in 1985 he blah 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 blah. It was long and unnecessary. Whoever's idea that was just awful. He should be slapped for it.
Probably TKOs.
So then Rock comes out, and even though they're in Glendale, Rock runs down Phoenix, and he calls it the most cocaine and meth used, or cocaine and meth, or the city that has the most cocaine and meth use. And then he says that wrestling is cool again, and that's why this crack den with popcorn is sold out, which that popped me. No pun intended. And then he refuses Cody's challenge. Just because you want to go one-on-one with the Rock doesn't mean you get to. But I have a counter offer for you. Night one of WrestleMania. Go ahead.
I was just saying, which was great. He's like, you think you just ask for a match and get one? It doesn't work like that, which is how we got into this whole situation.
True. Yeah. I didn't think about that. Good catch. But he says he has a counter offer. He says, since you want to run around with that cross-dresser, he didn't say that. I said that. How about this? Both you versus the greatest tag team that will ever align on night one. Of course, that would be Rock and Roman. And yeah, so he challenges Cody and Seth to a tag match, night one of WrestleMania. If Cody and Seth win, Cody's match on night two with Roman will be completely free of the bloodline. If Rock and Roman win, then Cody's match becomes no disqualification. Anything goes. So then Rock tells Cody and Seth to meet them next week to answer. And if they don't accept, The Rock will make sure that Cody loses to Roman and ensure his story ends tragically. So you want to just pause there, talk about that before we go into the next part?
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Well, you got your fucking wish.
What was my wish?
You wanted somebody to wrestle twice at WrestleMania. Here it is. This is what
Sure
you
is.
wanted.
Sure is. Did I see it going this way? I can't say that I did. I just didn't know when else they were going to do this tag team match,
Oh,
or if it was going to be the one-on-one match, Rock and Cody. But there could be a lot of now. They haven't accepted yet, so there is that. Obviously, they'll probably accept. But yeah, it can go a lot of different directions here. So it makes it really unpredictable.
do you think that they're gonna do just real quick? Do you think they're gonna do that stupid thing where they do all night? Where is Seth gonna accept Cody's or you know partnership? Even though Seth has been saying for weeks, I got your back. Do you think
Well,
they're
if
gonna do that?
anything, it'd be if is Cody going to accept Seth Rollins' help?
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of different directions they can go. They can do the Seth Rollins turn in the tag match, and then that leaves Cody to have to go through the bloodline rules match. They could do The Rock getting pinned in the tag match, and then that leaves Roman to have to fend for himself. Now, it should be noted, or if you paid attention, when The Rock said if Cody win, or I'm sorry, if they win, them being Cody and Seth, then the bloodline is barred from ringside. And he said Solo, Jimmy, the Wise Man, and himself. He named the people.
Mm-hmm.
So that could lead to another introduction of a new bloodline member.
That is the rumor.
Um, right now, if you're looking at the rumor mill, that would be Tommy Tonga
Why?
or Jacob Fatu.
That makes more sense. Tamatanga, I don't think he has any ties to the La Lua family, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh, that was a big debate on whether or not he's a part of the family. I guess his dad is Haku,
No,
and they
his dad's Haku, and he's Tongan. He's not Samoan.
yes, but apparently they acknowledge them as family. I don't know.
They're cousins.
Yeah,
Oos. I mean, Tamatanga would have more of an alignment with, I would say, AJ Styles, because they were with the Bullet Club,
he would, but
and
I
maybe even
mean,
Cody Rhodes.
what would be better
Well,
for his career?
true. I mean, if you have an option, obviously you go with the bloodline. But logically, I mean, if you have a choice between Jacob Fatu and fucking Tamatanga, sorry, Tama.
I mean, it could be both of them.
That's true. It could.
I just haven't heard Jacob Fatu leaving wherever he's at yet.
He's a free agent.
He is.
Yeah.
It could be both of them. Where's Zilla?
Who
Is he a
cares?
free agent?
I don't know.
Umaga's kid? Remember, we did a video on him because he was talking about, oh, I'm ready for the bloodline. It's like, you've had one match in your career and you're already talking about the bloodline. What are you doing?
Yeah. Kids today.
But yeah, so that's another option. Cody wins, goes the one to get the one on one, and then we have an interference. Or Cody wins, we get the one on one, there's no interference, and then Cody wins the title. Um, oh, and then there's option four. It is the bloodline rules match, and then through through all that, somehow Cody still wins,
Yeah.
and then that would be that whole adversity thing.
I still think Rock might turn on Roman.
I don't see that just yet.
or cost him. I do, especially now that. Did you not see how Roman was pouting the whole time?
Yeah,
So I mean, they're clearly building to something with that.
they are, but I don't think it's
Not well,
gonna happen this
because
quick.
okay, it's happening pretty quickly.
I think they build it
Because
to
they didn't transition to, like, The Rock didn't do anything to upset Roman. Last week they were all hugs and kisses. Now it's a whole new week and Roman's just pouting. Oh, The Rock, don't like him now.
no,
Uh,
he did something last week.
What do you do?
Um, I forget. I
Exactly.
pointed it out last week.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then yeah, this week he did have a problem. Seemed that got smoothed over, but everything about Roman, you can tell he was getting fed up with The Rock. Number one, when he did his acknowledge me, and then he first said, "It used to be louder." You know,
Yeah.
it's obviously not me. It must be you. So let's try this again. And then he was gonna leave, and then Heyman's like, he still has to come out here. So I don't know. He's getting like overshadowed. It's very reminiscent of The Rock when he joined the Nation of Domination. Roman Reigns playing the role of Farouk. I I bet you a lot of people ain't gonna remember that name. So let me
Farouk Assad.
yeah, so let me tell you what happens here. The Rock joins the Nation of Domination. Farouk is the leader. The Rock starts to get over, and then basically he overshadows Farouk and starts to undermine everything he's doing, and then they push Farouk out of the group.
And then the group disbands because they just give a shit about The Rock.
Yeah.
Because I think, wasn't The Rock the leader for like a week?
No, I feel like it was longer than that.
Okay.
Yeah, but Farouk being a face didn't work out too well.
No, he's not. He's not a good face.
He was when he was with the acolytes. Farouk wasn't a good face, but Ron Simmons was when he was with the acolytes.
I
Love
mean,
me some acolytes.
as a as an entity, he could be a face, but personality wise, all he can do is be a badass.
And that's why they got over it with the acolytes.
Mm-hmm.
They were just beating the shit out of people. But yes, this is all reminiscent of that. Roman Reigns is starting to get overshadowed by The Rock, and he's getting fed up with it. And yeah, it's just a slow build. I think they're building it like for next year.
Okay.
That's just me though, and that's just me wishful thinking that this is gonna go past WrestleMania. And there's a bigger story at play.
I just know that it was all fine and dandy last week, and now this. There's no progression. They just go from one beat to the next.
Well, it seems like it was smoothed over by the end of the segment.
Well, yeah. So yeah. So
But yeah, this.
then, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Yeah, Rocco's is about to do his "Do you smell what I'm cooking?" thing. Roman stops him. He says, "I love my family, but there's just one thing I'm going to need from you." He says he needs a senior citizen to acknowledge him. So then The Rock acknowledges Roman. And then the dumb fuck crowd chants that Dwayne sold out.
The Rock returned heel.
Yeah. And then he tells the crowd to go home and smoke some more crack. And then Roman gets to ask them if the crowd smells what he's cooking. Well, the bloodline.
Yeah, so it seems like he was once the acknowledgement happened, it seems like he was back okay with The Rock. Like that's what was eating him. Like you I need you to acknowledge me to move forward here.
See, now the Rock's got to have an issue with Roman. You made the Rock acknowledge you on live TV. You stopped me in my cooking.
Well, we'll see.
We will see.
So you're saying Rock turns on Roman
No, I mean he doesn't even have to turn. Just somehow cost him the match.
night one, and then
No, I'm saying in if it's night one,
that's what we're talking
it
about right
doesn't
now. Right,
matter.
night one, where do
Okay,
you
so
think it's
night
going
one, then you're asking me what I think's gonna happen?
so far? You can change. We haven't been presented with all the information. Or what do you see? What scenarios do you see here, if different than mine?
Man, I don't fucking know. I don't necessarily see anything different. Like it makes sense that Rollins would turn on Cody, I guess. Maybe. I mean, he has a match later with McIntyre. Why would you fuck somebody over when you got that looming ahead of you? But then again, why would you be in a tag match when you got that looming ahead of you? And you're just coming off an ACL injury.
Yeah, his involvement doesn't really.
No,
And here's another question: what does he get? That being Rollins,
Rollins, nothing.
like he's just all about this greater good. I guess that's what it's all about,
He gets the rub of being in the same ring as a champion.
pretty much. So, do you think?
That's sad. He has the second belt, allegedly. And he is like the fourth over guy in the entire tag scenario there.
I mean, The Rock's just pushing him so far down the totem pole.
Mm-hmm. It's
Wearing
putting him
your
where he
wife's
belongs.
clothes, your your girlfriend, calling Cody Rhodes' girlfriend, and
I don't
then
see The Rock losing in his first match back in a while.
so night two will be Bloodline rules.
Yeah.
It seems like that would be the most logical of the two, because
But
if
then who
Cody
gets
wins,
pinned?
well, it'd be Seth Rollins. And then that also tells you a lot about night two, right? If The Rock and Roman loses, they're gonna lose again night two.
Right.
So, but
That's true. That's why, yeah. So it had to, for the good guys to win, Cody and Seth would have to lose.
yeah, and then that'll make night two so unpredictable. I'm sure it's all gonna be overbooked. However it ends up.
True.
So I guess more leaning towards it's we have to have the bloodline rules match as
Yeah.
opposed to just like the one-on-one no interference. Even though, like I said, you can still because he named the four people, so you can still get like a debuting someone to help Roman win,
Right.
and then if Cody and Seth win night one, that's definitely gonna happen.
You think somebody's got a debut?
If they win night one, yeah.
Okay.
And then Seth, he's gonna get his ass beat, and then he's gonna have to go night two to wrestle McIntyre. And it might even go as far. I saw another scenario for Seth, because The Rock, on the social media thing, he told Seth, "If you keep going down this road, I'm your boss. I'll make sure you lose that damn title." uh, I also could see maybe Seth beating Drew McIntyre, and then he thinks he's home free. He's helping Cody, and he still keeps his title. But then there's one more match for you, Seth Rollins, and then out comes Damian Priest with the cash in. So then now Seth has like 3 matches at WrestleMania, even though the second match would just be a squash because it's a cash in.
Well, I was just thinking if it'd be kind of interesting if a McIntyre he wins, he beats Rollins, but then Priest cashes in on him. So then McIntyre sets his sights on Priest in Judgment Day. Give him
Yeah, that
something
would
to do.
be interesting.
Yeah.
So a lot of different scenarios that can go here. But the best part of it all is it makes it unpredictable.
That's true. And as much as I hate the fact that The Rock is there, at least it's something to see. You have The Rock and Seth Rollins just interjected in what could be a good match between Cody and Roman.
Well, I would say this whole pivot thing has made it much more interesting than, yeah, the what we were gonna get, the vanilla. I won the Royal Rumble and I'm just going straight to Roman Reigns. I'm pointing like a wild man. Like whatever that story arc was gonna be, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. I mean, we don't know what it was gonna be, but I would say this pivoted storyline has been much better.
I can't say it's better. It's been more unpredictable.
Well, if it was just gonna be like, let's say The Rock didn't come back or he didn't try to take Cody Rhodes' spot, what was gonna be the story? Just I'm finishing the story, and that's uh, they had a pivot, and I just think it's been better,
Okay.
or it's worked out better for them.
I don't know. I just think Dwayne or The Rock's um, he sticks out like a sore thumb. He's kind of like the dad. Well, the kids just kind of stand off to the side, like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And he
Well,
tells his jokes, and I don't know. I like the idea of Rock and Triple H kind of having like a proxy war with the Bloodline and Cody.
yeah.
That was interesting. But just I don't know, just the Rock wrestling the new guys that eh. And then they're just giving us a retread of, so we're watching them on night 1 and 2. What if Seth Rollins gets hurt or Cody gets hurt or Roman
Well,
gets
that's
hurt?
just gonna be an easy night, night two.
Okay.
Gonna be easy money then. But yeah, that's obviously a concern since Seth just came back from an injury. I mean, he's cleared. I don't know why people are saying he's not cleared. As far as I know, from what I've heard, like over years, if you're doing anything in the ring, you're cleared. And he did that curb stomp to, I think it was Theory. Yeah, it was Theory at Elimination Chamber. So I would say he's cleared if he's curb stomping. But
I
yeah,
don't know
just
what's
coming back
involved
off
in a
of,
curb stomp, so I can't. I would
well, his knee
imagine
was
that.
hurt. So
Well, I understand that, but as far I don't know how much force he's applying. with the knee? Because he curb stomped with his injured knee, right?
No,
Or did he
he
plant with his?
planted on
Oh,
his injured knee,
okay, okay, never mind then.
but yeah, that's just like the old thing. It's like, oh, if you're hurt, you ain't doing anything in the ring. That's what I remember hearing, but that could be wrong.
You ain't doing much in the ring, that's for sure. So after that, any more to add?
No, we'll see where it goes. It's going to be interesting.
So Theory gets scheduled to lose to Randy Orton later. Waller and Theory, they're replaying Randy getting knocked out by Logan Paul at Elimination Chamber. And actually, LA Knight makes a brief appearance. He's looking for AJ Styles, and he brought the chair AJ used on him along with for the ride. So Waller and Theory, they're going back to their video, and then comes Orton, and he starts laughing along with them, and then he challenges one of them to a match. He tells them to decide which one gets their head ripped off later. And Waller offers up Theory. Theory gets pissed. Understandably so.
Yep.
Your girl Stratton beat Naomi. And they didn't even let Naomi do her entrance, which is like the only interesting thing about her. And has she won since she came back?
She's not.
Okay. Man, it's good things.
And yeah, so much happened in that. So the story that came out was that the Rock segment overran, so they had to cut time in this match.
Oh, okay.
So where did that time get cut? Naomi's entrance.
Man.
And then most of the match happened during the commercial. So TV time wise, we only probably got like a 4-minute match.
Okay.
So Naomi loses to a rookie, Tiffany Stratton, in 4 minutes and didn't get an entrance. You think Triple H remembers? So you walked out, huh?
Give me my titles back.
Yeah.
God
That's the
damn.
going thing. Well, Triple H remembers.
Your girl Sasha didn't sign Naomi. You know what that
Yeah.
means. No more
Didn't you
fucking
say she
glowing
was coming
now.
back? Weren't you supposed to bring her back with you? You left with her, and now she's going over to AEW to wrestle in front of 5 people? Huh?
You can glow your ass on the kickoff shows from now on.
And you get no entrance. You're a jobber.
It's so sad.
But good win for Tiffany Stratton.
Kabuki Warriors versus Bailey and Dakota Kai happen next. And of course, the champions come out first because why wouldn't they? So Dakota Kai betrayed Bailey with no build, really. And then Damage Control beat the shit out of Bailey. Io assassinated her with a running knee to the back of the head. And then the only thing that saved this for me was Io, because she got in Bailey's face and she said, "This is my title. You will never get it." And then she starts laughing. Like
Yeah, her
this
little
evil.
maniacal laugh.
Yeah. She had her arm out and everything. It was great. And then Jade had a standing moment later with them, because that's what she does now. She just stands.
Yep. So pretty predictable here. I know I never brought it up because I felt like it was so predictable. I didn't want to. I was trying. I don't know what I was trying to do. I was just trying to go along with the story because I knew what was going to happen. And it was like,
We've been kind of saying
really,
all along this was
yeah.
kind of the result.
So yeah, no surprise.
I just wish they would have like melted a little bit more. Like, what does this cost Bailey? Other than, okay, now she still has a title match with Io. Like, wouldn't it have made more sense to betray her at WrestleMania?
It's just more for her to overcome.
But she's overcoming 3 ladies.
I know, but now there's 4. She's all alone. She's all alone.
No, it would have made more sense to, I don't know, maybe have Kabuki Warriors kind of throw it, make it seem like, even like let Dakota Kai pin one of them.
And then
So
turn it WrestleMania.
yeah, that's what I would have done.
Well, how's Bailey gonna win if she turns at WrestleMania?
Oh, Bailey wouldn't win. You kidding me?
There's a difference there.
You joking? Bailey wouldn't be my champion.
Yeah, there's the
That's
difference.
crazy. So yeah, that happened. After that, Braun Breaker beat Zion Quinn. I felt bad for Zion Quinn because they spent like 20 minutes talking about how his physique was awesome, how he looked impressive, and how he just had, to get over that, or had to find that one thing to really find his footing in the WWE, and he loses with a spear.
So, kind of seems. And by the way, this match was all of like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was very short.
It kind of seems that they're trying to rerun the Goldberg thing. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying it seems like that's what they're doing with Breaker. He's just gonna
Beat jobbers.
beat jobbers quickly. Now, the Goldberg thing was different because he started out. His first match was Hugh Morris, which it took me a long time to realize that his name was actually Humorous.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that was his first match, so he wasn't really a jobber. And he got his move onto Goldberg, and then he was just beating people on the roster. So it's a little bit different than what they're doing with Breaker, which is going through jobbers. But I feel like it can become a thing, and it's going to get him over.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying he's going to go on like a 140 win streak and all that. But if you just keep sending him out there and, the crowd's going to get into like how fast is this match going to be? I don't know. I think it could work. And then, yeah, you get him to a point where he's just unstoppable.
I don't know. I thought Quinn looked like the superstar and Braun Breaker looked like the jobber.
Mm.
That was just me. Although Quinn needed to do something with that hair.
Well, he lost to I forgot the name. Yeah,
But he
forgot
lost.
the name. But he's been a jobber, so
okay.
They tried with him at the beginning, but I mean, he's got the back of his head tattooed. You would think you would think
he'd
that
have
would
it.
add some badassery to him.
So what is it with him?
I don't know. I guess they just don't know what to do with him. Like he hasn't gotten anything to connect with the crowd.
He looks like a badass. Was he Chinese?
I think he's Samoan, maybe.
Oh, is he Samoan?
Yeah.
How the fuck is he
But
not
not
over? How do
but
you
not
not know
one
what
of
to
the
do with that?
Samoans. I don't know.
He's Australian.
Oh. Well, this part there's a lot of Samoans in Australia.
He's from Australia, I should say. He's Samoan and Irish. That's why he's an outcast.
That Irish, you need to get
He's
that
a
Irish out of me.
mudblood.
Yeah,
He's impure. But yeah, he looked like a badass.
he did.
I just
But
don't understand how you don't know what to do with that. Unless he like can't talk. But even then you can still I don't know. Whatever. Spending too
well,
much
from being
time.
honest, I didn't. Yeah, I haven't followed his career too closely, but um, yeah, this is about Braun Breaker here, and yeah, I think they're trying to recreate like a Goldberg s type build,
Or
which I think could work.
at the very least they're doing the old school build where you got somebody new comes in, beats some jobbers, you're showcasing how they're a big deal.
That's true, but I guess the reason I'm saying a Goldberg thing is because he did a spear.
Oh, yeah. Well, isn't that his move though?
Yes,
Well, there you go.
so yeah, more Goldberg, and if he does a jackhammer, watch out. And
Everybody
he's
hates
growing out his
it.
goatee, so he's looking more like his dad with the goatee thing. He's got a good goatee. I mean, his dad had a better goatee, obviously, but yeah, mm, we're building a breaker.
Yay. Escobar's group had another Olive Garden vignette before his match with Carlito. Anything to say about that?
Nope, they're going to eradicate Rey Mysterio's LWO.
Yeah. So it's like a cartel thing. Escobar and Carlito was a street fight, so Escobar's thugs end up interfering. But for some reason, Escobar can't beat Carlito with a 3-on-1 advantage. And then Ray comes back and he's teasing that his legs still hurt. He's on crutches. So Escobar's thugs go out to attack Ray. Turns out he's not hurt. And he beats the shit out of Escobar's boys with a crutch. And then Ray helps Carlito beat Escobar because, oh yeah, there's a match going on still. And then Carlito pins Escobar and he wins. And Ray was wearing a great Muda mask. I thought it
Yes, he
suited
was.
him. He had the gray beard. That was a good look.
Yep, he's got this. I guess that's his new thing.
And that was that, I guess. Tyler Bate and his lesbian tag partner beg out all this backstage for another tag shot at the titles, or another shot at the tag titles. This time they wanted it at WrestleMania, though. And all this laughs at their face. And he says he's going to announce something later. And LA Knight interrupts. Well, sort of. He's making a lot of loud noises. And all this blows off Bate and his lesbian partner to go see what's going on. Turns out Knight's still looking for Styles. And he says, if anybody knows where AJ's at, it's you, Mr. GM. And all this says, in fact, I do know where he is. I told him to stay home. Knight says, well, I'm going to get him. And you can't stop me. And Aldis says, oh, yeah? Knight says, yeah. That was that.
I do like the little call out there. It's like, oh, you know me, because they were back in the NWA together.
Yeah.
So I like that part of it. But yeah, still looking for AJ Styles.
Still looking for AJ. Theory lost to Orton. Owens was on commentary for no reason. Waller attacked Orton after the match. Owens got involved. That was the end of the fucking show.
Yep. There's a great RKO there with the
The
Theory
little
trying to do
rolling.
his yeah.
I guess so. He just because it's a rolling clothesline, right?
It's a rolling blockbuster.
Okay. Just the way he jumped up like that. Obviously, he was jumping up for RKO as opposed to what he was trying to do. I
He's
know
gonna
that.
do a blockbuster.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Don't mark out or mark up. He was
It
going
wasn't
for
as
his
fluid as it
blockbuster.
needed to be.
He's going for his blockbuster, and he got cut in the
Also
RKO.
the also the positioning of Randy's left foot was off by 2 inches.
And yeah, and then post match, Waller attacks Orton. KO runs in for the help, and then Theory got stunned, and he sold the shit out of that too. So that's a that's a point out.
Waller got RKO'd as well.
Yeah, but he didn't sell it as good as Theory sold the stunner.
Okay.
It was like a Razor Ramon esque selling of the stunner. Oh no, he was Scott Hall at the time. Sorry, mixing up my characters.
Well, that was SmackDown.
That was SmackDown. Overall, it wasn't. Um, I don't know. It was a missable show overall,
It really was,
but like, you just had to watch the opening segment and then turn the TV off.
essentially. And you don't even have to watch that. Just kind of find out on the highlights. Oh, Rock said no. We're doing a tag match instead.
I guess so.
But yeah.
I did enjoy it though. The whole well, outside of the main event, the rest of the show,
Mm, I don't know.
like I enjoyed the Stratton match. I enjoyed the street fight, the Braun Breaker thing. Uh, yeah, I enjoyed pretty much the show, but you know, outside of the main event of I'm sorry, outside of the opening segment,
Mm-hmm.
you could probably just read the read the bullet points.
I don't know. Theory and Waller are goons. So anything that they're involved, you know that they're going to just come out on the shitty end of the stick over. Um, like I said, the only thing I was interested in was Naomi's entrance, and that that was taken away from me.
It might be taken away from her.
True.
uh,
Uh,
you don't get that interest anymore. You
Io's
think I
performance,
forgot?
Io's performance was great, but I'm so like the Kabuki Warriors and Damage Control aren't where they should be for this to mean anything for me. And I wish they would have just. I wish the Dakota Kai turn would have cost Bailey more than just a friend. I don't see how 4-on-1's any harder than 3-on-1.
Well,
And I'm
I
just
think that's I think that whole thing pretty much if this whole bloodline storyline is kind of overshadowing everything else.
and that's
Everything
sad.
else is just there.
Well, it's sad because the bloodline thing, that's not they kind of cooled off on that for a while too.
Yep, they just know when to turn it on, and then they did.
And then I was more interested in Braun Breaker's opponent than Braun Breaker.
Well, that's because you're not big on Breaker.
Yeah, he hasn't sold me. And Escobar, I mean, I want to like him, but he's kind of a joke too. I like I like my bad guys and to win a little bit instead of just lose all the time and be fools.
I will say the crowd was big into that match. Maybe it's because Ray was there, but they were definitely big into that match.
And I'm not interested in Tyler Bate and his lesbian wrestling again, so maybe the lesbian by himself would be entertaining, but yeah, you had Theory and Orton, which you knew the conclusion of before anything happened.
When they made the match, you knew the conclusion.
Yeah, you knew.
When Orton walked into the screen when they were watching this.
Right. Like, oh, okay. I didn't even know it was the main event.
He said, Waller said it at the end. Oh, I
I
scored
did.
you a main event with Orton. Oh,
Oh, okay.
thanks for telling me that ahead of time. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that was very skippable. Raw was kind of skippable too, if we're being honest.
Yeah, outside of a couple storyline builds.
Yeah. Which again, most of it would you can just kind of get the bullet points from a story article or something.
From watching us, of course.
Of course.
You don't have to watch the show. You just come right here and listen to us. And hit the like button and subscribe button, of course.
Well, next up is our Wrestling Rewind.
And this week is WrestleMania 12.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
The boyhood dream of Shawn Michaels. Will it be realized? And the only way to do that, he has to go 1 hour with the ring general, that is Bret the Hitman Hart. Can Shawn Michaels out wrestle Bret Hart in a 1 hour mat classic?
Yes, the challenger seeks damn it, I fucked it up. The challenger seeks greatness while the champion strives to maintain it. And we already played Linda McMahon's music. So we go to the pond in Anaheim, California. Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler are on commentary, and they play up all the matches that we want to see. And then Vader's music cuts them off. And the first match of the night is Vader and the British Bulldog and Owen Hart versus Yokozuna, Ahmed Johnson, and Jake the Snake Roberts. If Yoko's team wins, Yokozuna, sorry, gets Cornette in the ring for 5 minutes. That would have been entertaining. And they show little video clips of Yoko preparing for his 5 minutes with Cornette by squashing balloons that have Cornette's face drawn on them. Thought very old school. And Jake is back, and he's not wrestling without a shirt anymore. That's worth noting.
Yep, he's got it's the vested Jake.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because Vader and Yoko, they don't mind having their titties flopping out, but Jake, he's shy.
I mean, Vader looked pretty stacked.
That's because he was next to Yoko.
No, even when he came out, even before Yoko came out, he looked.
I don't know.
I don't know. His traps were there, and also underrated. But that music of his is great. It's time.
Oh, yeah.
It's time, and then dun dun dun. Yeah, great music.
Yeah, he's great. Bulldog no longer has long hair, and he actually looks skinny compared to Mushmouth Ahmed. And I thought Vader looked lean compared to Yoko. For some reason, Mr. Fuji is at ringside, and he's just waving an American flag. It's just weird.
Because Yoko's a face now.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So they changed nationalities, I guess.
Yeah.
And we saw Bulldog's running power slam, and we saw Jake's DDT. And the biggest pop of the match was when Jake teased DDT and Cornette. And then
By the way, someone, I forgot who it was, but they kicked out of the Bulldogs Power Slam pretty nonchalantly, too. Whoever he hit it on, they kicked out.
that was
It wasn't an
Jake.
interference. Yeah, it wasn't interference. He just flat out kicked out.
Yeah. Old man Jake. Because he's the old elder at this point, I think. Him and Bulldog.
Oh, he still snaps that DDT.
Yep. And Vader ends up hitting Jake with the Vader bomb for the win. Pretty inoffensive, I guess. The biggest moment for me was Ahmed. He hit a flying clothesline and he went, ah! And yeah, he looked like a beast.
Yeah, I like the DDT. Jake's DDT. Very snappy that thing is. Oh, and there was a point where Owen Hart did the step up Insiguri. And I was just thinking, man, like no one uses that move anymore in wrestling.
It's not flashy enough.
I mean, you're kicking someone in the back of the head. What's there? And then I went down this like memory rabbit hole. Do you remember the NES game Pro Wrestling with Starman and
Yeah.
the Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was that guy who wore the black trunks, and his little finisher was the Insiguri.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, I'd like to play that, just so I could hit that Insiguri. And then they do the Brain Busters, and then the Starman had his little star kick.
Yeah, it was a
Good
fun
times
ass
that
game. Yeah.
And then you're not going to tell me that one guy wasn't Ric Flair.
You mean the one that did the figure four leg lock and wooed?
Yeah. And then, yeah, Amazons just straight bite you in the head. Oh, boy, did he piss me off when I used to play, and he would just keep biting you. Anyway. Just a random memory all off of an Insiguri.
Well, after the 6-man tag match, Roddy Piper is standing in a Hollywood back lot. He's holding a pipe, or not a pipe, a baseball bat. It turns out that Roddy Piper is facing Goldust, and it's a Hollywood backlot brawl. So Piper, somehow the president of the WWF, newcomer Goldust, is turned on by his power. And Goldust recites a poem about his innermost feelings to Piper. Then he sucks on a bagpipe. Eventually, Piper's goaded into a match with Goldust, where he vows to make a man out of him. Then we get a shot, or an arbitrary shot of Marlena just sitting in a chair. Like, oh, she's waiting. So yeah, we cut back to Piper, who's still standing with the baseball bat, and then a gold Cadillac just screeches into frame. And Piper has a stare down with the Cadillac. He says, come on, come get some. So then the car screeches towards Hot Rod. Then it just stops. And then Roddy starts spraying the car with a fire hose. Because I guess all back lots have a fire hose just hanging around. And I guess that distracts the driver enough for Roddy to bash the car with the baseball bat. So Goldust flees the car. And then he just proceeds to get his ass kicked from one end of the lot to the other by Roddy. And he keeps asking Roddy if they're close enough. And at one point, Roddy throws a full can of either beer or soda at Goldust, which had to hurt. And he even hits him with a couple like legit punches.
Boy, did he.
And Goldust ends up hitting Roddy in the dick, then scrambles back into the Cadillac. He tries to run down Piper, and Piper jumps on the hood of the Cadillac. He ends up falling off, and Cadillac screeches off. Piper limps into a Ford Bronco and gives chase. And I gotta say, that was just as wild and pointless as the first time I saw it.
It's definitely wild. Definitely wild. I mean, Piper, yeah, he nailed. The first time I was like, oh, it looks like he really punched him. And then the second time I was like, he definitely punched.
I thought it was
I don't
funny
know.
that
Was it like,
they got that close up. It's like, ah.
yeah, you just hear like the thud.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, huh, I wonder if there's any stories out about that whole thing. Like,
No, they probably
why
just
did he
said,
really punch him?
no, that's Dusty's kid and Piper's a legend. They probably just made it look as real as possible. That'd be my guess. Because they got the close up. I mean, it's not like he punched him in the face off camera or something. Like it was a
Right.
deliberate.
Yeah. It's just Piper being Piper.
Right.
And yeah.
So
Yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, so then they're off in hot pursuit.
yeah. And
And as soon as Piper got in that white Bronco, I said, oh, yeah, I remember where this is going.
yeah. Well, that was the end of that. Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. Steve Austin and Savio Vega have their match next. And Austin and Vega were partners at one time, but Austin refused to tag him, of course. So they're not tag partners anymore. Seems to be like the default. We're going to split him up. Well, how are we going to do that? Oh, well, he's just not going to tag him. It's good shit, pal.
They made it sound it was some kind of lethal lottery type deal where you get a random tag team partner. And then they got tagged up, and then, yeah, he wouldn't tag him in.
Okay. I guess that makes more sense then. So before the match, Doc Hendricks interviews Vega, who says, Stone Cold Steve Austin, be prepared for the fight of your life, because I'm coming for you. And Piper phones in during the match to say if this fruitcake thinks this is how it's going to end, he's all kinds of wrong. And then they show aerial footage of Piper being chased by the police. Evans says the shot looks awfully familiar.
If that wasn't, I think that was like the actual OJ footage,
I have no idea. Maybe.
or maybe they did it shot for shot. But from what I remember, I think that was the actual. Because yeah, it just looked like.
If they were smart, it would be the actual footage. I wouldn't pay to redo that.
Yeah,
on
I can
camera.
just imagine
Yeah.
because the time it was. I can just imagine them like putting a VCR tape, or putting the VCR in and just pushing record over the screen,
Right.
because that's how you screen recorded back then. You put a VCR in tape and then you recorded.
So this started off as a really good match until the Piper shit kind of took me out of it. It seemed like they were more interested in this silly high-speed pursuit than Stone Cold beating the shit out of Savio Vega.
Yeah, he called in like, I think he called in 2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
and they kept saying, "Oh, Piper's calling in on his cellular phone."
He did say that, yeah.
And then why was at one point he was talking, Piper that is, and it sounded like he was out of breath, but he was driving, so but it sounded like he may have been running, but he was driving. I was
He
like,
was he was hurt. That's how he plays hurt.
"Oh." I was like, "What is he running after the car?"
What's a Flintstone car? Because okay, that didn't land at all.
No, I
Um,
got you, but
okay, so Savio ended up spinning kicking the referee. Austin beats Vega up with the $1 million championship. He even clocked him in the back of the head. There's a nice little sickening thud. And then Austin locks in the $1 million dream for a long ass time. And then the ref regains consciousness and he rings the bell because Savio's obviously out. And then Austin keeps the hold on for a long ass time after. Like, it got uncomfortable.
yeah, he really kept it on.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of it all was how he was shaking his head while he was doing it. He was doing the old Austin head shake.
Yep. And then some old guy just comes to ringside and he weakly points at Austin. And then Austin lets go. And that's the birth of a legend.
I didn't remember, this was really young Stone Cold. I mean, they just started calling him Stone Cold as he was previously the ringmaster. And it was before all his knee braces and stuff. He's actually doing wrestling moves, like jumping off the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
He hit that elbow, the front elbow, but he went from the top rope and like jumped halfway across the ring.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
He was good shit, man. I like that. I like when they were punching each other and then they just started rolling out of the ring.
Yeah.
That's not unique to Austin because I've seen it a couple times, but it is unique for the modern era or the modern fan, I would say.
Yeah. I also liked his entrance, Austin's, because it was like absolutely nothing flashy about it. He just he didn't even hold the title. He just had it on his shoulder and he would just give that stone cold stare to the
Mm-hmm.
camera.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah. Wish he would come in and steal main events more often.
Oh, there is that. Oh, we're out of the retro. We're at retro now. We'll
Okay.
talk about that later.
Mr. Perfect interviews Diesel. And Diesel's facing The Undertaker, who apparently has been fucking with Diesel's head. And they show a clip of Taker pulling Diesel under the ring during the end of a cage match with Bret Hart. And Taker did a spooky shit with the lights when Diesel tried to attack him. And the icing on the cake was Taker presenting Diesel with a coffin that had somebody that looked just like Diesel in it. And we see Diesel spooked and he slams the coffin lid in a panic. And then Perfect tells Diesel that he must be shitting bricks at the thought of facing The Undertaker. And then Diesel says, "I'm Big Daddy Cool. I don't sweat the little things or the big things. Big Daddy takes Cool at Taker tonight. And if Michael wins, he's next." It's kind of a contradiction there.
Well, probably. But what stuck out to me is like I didn't remember. I remembered the Diesel getting dragged to hell. I remember the lights going out thing. Why didn't I remember the coffin part of it?
I don't know.
Like that seems like, I mean that. I guess that was a prosthetic or something. I don't know what the hell that was. It did look just like Diesel though.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Like, yeah, whoever did that, they did some good work.
Well, after that, Hunter Hearst Helmsley and the Ultimate Warrior have their match. And Helmsley comes out. I forgot how much I really liked his original gimmick. And this was kind of when Helmsley was the blue blood. That was kind of when I first started becoming like a serious wrestling fan. And my first
Mhm.
impression of Helmsley, he was wrestling Ahmed, and every time Ahmed would touch him, Helmsley would stop everything so he could wipe himself off.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they didn't they didn't flat out say it, but you didn't have to. It was great, and I've liked him ever since. So Helmsley gets the jump on the Ultimate Warrior before the bell rings, and before he even gets his jacket off. And Helmsley hits his pedigree, which Warrior immediately gets up from, hits Helmsley with a couple clotheslines and a shoulder charge, then hits him with a splash to the back. And to add salt on the wound, he pins Helmsley with his knees. Helmsley at least got to come out with Sable.
Yep, that was the debut of Sable. And yeah, it was I don't know, this is like a 3 minute match. The return
Yeah.
of the Ultimate Warrior. The King was building it up. Oh, I've heard he's 400 pounds and bald now.
Yeah.
And he wasn't either one of those things.
Of course not.
Got one of the biggest reactions coming out. I
He
loved
did
it.
get a big reaction.
The fireworks going off.
I did feel kind of bad for Trips. It was 1 minute and 39 seconds according to Wikipedia.
There you go. That's, I don't know, just sad that was I think that was the end of the Warrior being at WrestleMania. It's probably like one of his last appearances, yeah. It was a great one.
Yeah. Well, after that, Johnny B. Bad makes his debut as Wild Man Mark Marrow. Marrow says he's up to the challenge. He's up to any challenge WWF wants to throw at him. And we cue Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He's yelling at Sable because he lost his match. Marrow tries to stick up for Sable. Helmsley ends up clocking him. And Marrow and Helmsley, they start fighting. And my favorite part was when Helmsley clocks Marrow, and then he just kind of stops and he goes, ah! And then he turns. So it looks like we're getting Marrow and Helmsley on the horizon. I don't think we're going to get a WrestleMania match out of that. But
nope. But they're fighting over the hand of Sable.
Yes.
If I remember.
And then we find out that Goldust and Piper are on their way back to the arena for some reason.
Goldust is trying to get away. And the only way he knows how is to come back to the arena.
Yes. And up next is Diesel versus The Undertaker. And Diesel got booed. He was not a fan favorite here.
I think he was heel before. At least that's what I was picking up on in commentary. Or he was in the midst of turning heel, I guess. But yeah,
I don't know. It kind of seemed like he was. It didn't seem like he was a heel.
Yeah, from his earlier promo, I thought he was a face.
Yeah.
But he was definitely getting booed.
Well,
I guess if you take into account like the video package they showed, you would say he was a face as well.
Right. But I think The Undertaker was supposed to be the heel. Wasn't
he? From the video package, it looked that way.
Okay. Well, from the crowd reaction, that was not the case. But his entrance was awesome. His being the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And the match starts off pretty great. Like they both start beating each other's ass and fighting. It's like Diesel has had enough of the mind games and shit. And it was weird how it kind of seemed like Diesel turned heel in the middle of the match.
He was going based off the crowd reaction.
Yeah, and the pace just kind of seemed to change from then on out, not necessarily for the better. Okay. And Diesel eventually hits Taker with a jackknife, and then he just stands with his hand on his hips, and he tells Taker to get up so he can deliver a second jackknife. And then after the second jackknife, he just leans on the ropes. And then after an unnecessary amount of time, Diesel finally goes in for the pin. And of course, Taker recuperates. And then Diesel pummels Taker back to lifelessness. Oh, God damn it. Taker pummels Diesel. You want to help me?
So the Undertaker tries to get Diesel goes down for the pin. Undertaker grabs him by the throat to do a choke slam or to get back up, and then Diesel beats the shit out of him. And then we do this like 2 or 3 times, and then finally the Undertaker is able to get back to his feet. By the way, we play the same scenario 2 or 3 times. Undertaker grabs him by the throat, he beats the shit out of him, and then he just stays there on his knees for a couple seconds. Then he goes
He
for
was
the
like
pin.
Jason.
Yeah. He's able to get the pin, and then we get to our feet, and Undertaker gets the choke slam. Probably not the best choke slam, but given that he's choke slamming someone 7 foot, over 300 pounds, you can give him a pass on that one. And then he has his tombstone.
And what did you think of the match?
Uh, it was a little slow pace, but I liked it for the most part. It seemed it was more of like Diesel was doing a lot of posing or taunting to the crowd. Um, and again, or he said, he was getting booed, so maybe he was just trying to play that up. Uh, After he hit the jackknife, I don't know why he didn't go for the pin, and then he hit it
Twice.
again. Yeah, and then he hit it again and still didn't go for the pin. It was almost like when Sid Justice got Hulk Hogan and he could have won the match, but he didn't go for the pin.
Right.
On one hand, I can see it that you're probably trying to protect your move because if you go for the pin and he kicks out, then that's going to be another story. And I even think at this point we weren't kicking out of finishers yet, outside of the Bulldog getting his finisher kicked out of. But outside of all that, it was a okay match.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. Like I said, it started off really good, but
Yeah, it just felt like it was slow.
Right.
But it was the story they were telling because Diesel was controlling the Undertaker. And they were just like laying, like he'd do a move to the Undertaker, and then the Undertaker would be laying there for so long,
Yeah.
and then he, he's just sitting like the sidewalk slam, and then he'd just sit there and pose while the Undertaker's just laying there, and then finally he sits up, and then they do another move back to the same thing.
But it's worth noting that that is Diesel's last WrestleMania match.
Ah, where's he going there next?
He's going to TNA.
Oh,
It's a little upstart company.
oh. And is this before or after the fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon?
I believe this is that he goes to TNA.
Yeah, you said this was his last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So was this before or after the fake Diesel and Razor Ramon? Because he left and came back, right? When they
He
did the
came
fake
back with the
thing.
NWO.
No, when they did the fakes.
He didn't come back. No, the when they did the fake Razor and Diesel, he was already with WCW.
Okay.
In fact, they gave him a bigger contract because I guess WCW, they thought there was a chance that they were actually there or something like that.
They got tricked.
Yeah. So they gave him more money, at least according to Nash.
I was like, I'm gonna do some. I want to know more about that whole fake thing. Like, what was that all about anyway?
They thought that it didn't matter because Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they went to WCW and they kind of, even though they weren't Razor and Diesel, they kind of played Razor and Diesel. So WCW, or I think WWF, tried to sue them. So they had to kind of tone it down a little bit.
Oh,
But anyway,
they think they could just recast him.
yeah, they said that the it's the characters, not the people playing them. We own them.
And they had the fake Diesel was one Isaac Yankem DDS previously, and then he'd be later known as Kane.
And the fake Razor was Rick Bogner. That's it.
I don't know who that is.
Well, it doesn't matter because we have a Roddy Piper and Goldust update.
Ah, yes, very important.
Piper
After
and
the
Gold,
OJ chase.
yes, Piper and Goldust finally make it back to the arena. Goldust runs inside, and Piper gives chase. So naturally, they both just happen to find their way back to the ring. And I guess they had something of a match. And Goldust eventually kisses Piper. Piper loses it, grabs Goldust by the balls. Then Piper spanks Goldust. Then Piper strips Goldust. Then Piper kisses Goldust. Then after a long ass time, trying to get the rest of Goldust's clothes off, Piper stomps him in the dick. I don't know what I just watched.
Well, you kind of skimmed over the fact that when Goldust was derobed, underneath he was wearing women's lingerie.
Yeah,
Uh,
I didn't skim over it. I repressed
also
it.
to note, which I was actually kind of impressed with of this whole thing, is his body was also painted gold. So he took the character. He took the character. At least with that, he painted his body gold. So he lived the character. And
Yeah,
yeah, the after he got derobed and Piper low blowed him, He kind of just ran off, and that was the end of whatever that was. And Piper's music started playing. He was in really good shape,
He was.
but I don't know who you would say won that. And it seems like it was never a match. It was just a fight.
I don't know if anybody won, but we sure lost.
Sure did. And all I was thinking was, and that's Dusty's kid.
That's Dusty's kid. I enjoyed Goldust though. I like how he
Yeah,
fucked with people's heads.
yeah, he was great. I remember his when he had like initially debuted. First of all, the 24 karat gold production, and then he walks out there. We don't know what the hell's going on. He's got that wig on, and he takes the wig off, and it's like, whoa! I don't know. It was just shocking that he took the wig off and he was bald, or it was jarring, I should say. But he is the bizarre one.
He is the bizarre one. I really enjoyed his feud with the Undertaker. We should go. We should go back and discuss that.
Well, we'll have time after these shows are done. We're gonna have to fill the gap somehow.
It's true.
Maybe we can do like retro um,
Rivalries or something.
rivalries.
Yeah.
Oh, write that down.
Well, up next is Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart for the WWF Championship. And they played a video package that highlighted how different yet similar both men are. Shawn Michaels is flamboyant from San Antonio and trained by legend Jose Lothario. And Bret Hart is blue-collar Canadian. He's trained out of his father's legendary dungeon. And apparently this is an Iron Man match because Roddy Piper being the president of the WWF, he just decided it was.
Okay.
And before the match, Shawn says that there's nothing left to say. And Bret says that he just wants to wake up tomorrow as champion. And then we get to the ring, and I guess Piper is no longer president, and it's Gorilla Monsoon now. So he must have abused his power one too many times. And Michael's music plays, and out comes Jose Lothario very slowly. And then Shawn's music stops. Lothario gets onto the ropes, and he points to the ceiling. Shawn's music plays again, and HBK's in the rafters. Michaels then ziplines to the ring, and personally, I would have shit myself from the ceiling to the floor had I been ziplining. I guess that's why I'm not the Heartbreak Kid. And Bret comes out wearing black and pink, and he looks like a megastar, especially with that jacket.
Oh, that jacket was awesome. I want
Yeah.
one.
And both men meet in the center of the ring while Hebner goes over the rules. He says, "This is an Iron Man match. Y'all wrestle for 60 minutes. The man who has the most pinfalls by the end of the time limit will be the winner of World Wrestling Federation Championship." And finally, Bret kisses the title, hands it to Hebner, shakes Monsoon's hand, and we're off. And Shawn actually out wrestled Bret for a bit, at least. And I think Bret played into the heel side a lot more, especially when he's yelling at the fans and the referee. He was the first one to lose his temper. He even shouted at Lothario, the old man.
And it brought him joy when he bumped him later.
Yeah. I like when he was yelling at Hebner, "This isn't a staring contest. Ask him." Sean super kicked somebody on commentary, and he got stretchered out, showing the importance of the wrestling moves.
Yeah, I didn't get, but I guess it makes sense that they're trying to, yeah, show you how devastating the super kick is.
Yeah.
Just remind you if he hits it, because that guy got stretchered his ass out.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, think about it. Bret Hart can take two because he's a professional wrestler. He is a super athlete. The guy on commentary took one, and he had to be taken to the hospital because he's not a super athlete. That's just, I think that's brilliant. That's shit that they don't do anymore. If it was today that, you know, the commentator would get some offense in or something.
Well, I don't know about that.
I do. Liv Morgan.
Anyway, we're on the retro.
For some reason, Hebner takes a ref bump that has no impact on the match whatsoever. So I don't know if like he just happened to be out of position and got bumped.
I don't know.
And he sold it.
It was weird because he wasn't out for a long period of time like the ref that took the spin kick from Savio Vega earlier.
Right.
Like that ref was dead. And Hebner, he just took this bump and then he was up. He was like right back up. There was no cheating. There was no nothing.
Right.
So it didn't
It's
make
like,
sense.
why was that even a part of the match then?
Yeah.
Sean took two insane dives outside the ring. The second of which he hit Lothario with. The first one was just insane, where the back body drop.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking, what do you think's worse, when you know it happens or it's coming, or if it just happens?
Probably if it, yeah, probably if you know if it's coming.
Okay.
Because, yeah, it's in your mind and you gotta keep playing it over. Like, oh, it's coming.
Brett threw Sean into the Lothario, and like you said, he did take great pleasure into all of that. And then Hart finally locks in the sharpshooter, and it's 30 seconds left to go. And the time expires. Now it was great because the whole time they were playing up, oh, this person could have this many pens, or, you know, all they have to do is get one more pen than the other guy. And then as time expired, all they got to do is just get one pin. And then the time finally expired. It's like, well, now what happens? Well, naturally, Hart thinks that the match is over and he goes to leave. And Monsoon, he comes into the ring and he goes, no, there has to be a winner. And he says, sudden death rules are now in effect. And Brett's pissed, understandably so. And this is also the second Mania in a row where he just says, fuck.
Yeah.
And Vince later says it's Piper's fault that there has to be a winner because he set the Iron Man match. So he put it all on Piper's feet. If Piper didn't make this an Iron Man match, then we wouldn't be doing this right now. So the match restarts and Brett beats the piss out of Sean. And then Michaels hits Brett out of nowhere with a super kick. And that just fucks Brett's shit up. And then Michaels tunes up the band. And he nails Brett with another super kick for the 1-2-3. And then we get the iconic shot of Sean sitting in the middle of the ring, just staring at the belt. tears in his eyes. And then Shawn goes and shakes the hands of Bret's family. It's a dick move. I would just beat your son.
Well, they shook it back, so
Yeah,
there's that too.
he sure did. What's up, Stu? He didn't seem too pleased. Fuck you, young whippersnapper. But that was WrestleMania 12. And I was surprised that the WWF title was the only one on the line.
Oh, yeah. There's no other title matches. There was also no Bad America the Beautiful.
There was.
By bad, I mean like
Yeah.
the person
La,
singing it.
la, la.
Yeah. It's like they learned their lesson from that one.
We're all give it a break for a year.
Or because, I don't know, because of the Iron Man match, it seems like they had to focus on that only. Because that's what they did.
They sure did. Well, WrestleMania 13 would be obviously the next one on the list. The main event for that one was Sid and Taker. But first, we have WCW World War III. And I think this is the second one that they've done. And so this time, second or third one. And this time that they've decided that the winner of the World War III Battle Royal would receive a title shot for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
Makes sense.
Yeah, kind of does. As opposed to somebody just winning it.
Yeah.
And Jericho faces Nick Patrick. The thing is, Nick Patrick keeps fucking with Jericho after Halloween Havoc. Eventually, Jericho's provoked into challenging him for a match. Only Jericho has to keep one arm tied behind his back. The Giant and Jeff Jarrett have a rematch. Dean Malenko and Psychosis, they face each other for the Cruiserweight title. You're going to love this. Ready? Colonel Robert Parker versus Sensational Sherry.
What? Well, I guess he did have that match against Medusa.
He did.
So he has precedence.
He's 1-0 against
What are they trying to do on this paper? They're getting cocky already. Oh yeah, let's put Nick Patrick in a match. And also on the same card, we have Colonel Parker versus Sherry.
Well,
because we got the NWO, so who cares about anything else?
Well, Colonel Robert Parker, remember, on Halloween Havoc, he gave the cane to Kevin Nash to help the Outsiders win the tag titles.
Right.
So, of course, Harlem Heat were pissed off at him. And I think he went to, I can't remember the tag name, but some Canadians.
But we're talking about a pay-per-view here.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that on TV?
Nope. It's got to be a pay-per-view.
Yeah, and then they're getting cocky.
For the tag titles, we have the Outsiders versus Faces of Fear versus Nasty Boys.
That could be something.
Okay.
I guess. This doesn't seem like it's going to be one of the better pay-per-views.
Oh, I don't think it is.
But we got the Royal Rumble thing. The 60-man Battle Royal.
Well, at least you'll enjoy it.
I guess. I'm just trying to give it something. Maybe that's why they can get away with having Nick Patrick wrestle.
Why?
Because they got the Battle Royal.
I guess. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It just ain't gonna be good.
No.
I don't know. Maybe he's like Bret Hart under there.
If I remember correctly, he is not. But I could be remembering wrong.
Yeah, it just seems like it's, I don't know, one of the matches you don't want to see. It. Yeah, like just imagine paying money and then this is what you get.
Right. That
Yeah, that just pissed me off, I guess. Or
ima-
I wouldn't have paid for it. It's like, nope, I'll skip this one.
well, imagine getting paid money to talk about it.
Well, hopefully one day that'll happen.
Hopefully,
I get $1, and we're
we're off
it's
to the
just like,
races.
huh?
We're off to the races then.
Yeah,
$1.
just imagine though, like the idea of we're closing in. By the way, you guys can help us out. Get there on 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, and just from talking, we'll be getting paid. Like to talk, getting paid to talk. We'll talk about talking, and if we get paid $1, that counts. Like I don't know. I heard a
I just want you guys to come and listen to us and have a good time. I just want to build a community.
oh
Huh?
no, I heard Joe Rogan. He was talking about like just imagine, you get paid to. Well, he was talking about being a comedian. It's like you know the elementary thing that, or since you're like 2 years old, all you do is talk, and now you make it to a point where you get paid to do it.
Right.
Just I don't know. I thought about that. I was like, yeah, that is crazy.
Well, that's up to you. And by you, I mean listeners.
Yeah, you gotta hit that like and subscribe button. Get us to monetization. It's not if, it's when. I'll just say that.
All right.
But on that note, story wise, there wasn't much going on in the wrestling world. But there was one story I wanted to bring up. And it goes back to our girly Maxine Dupree. So
I
she
know she's
was,
been getting shit on.
yeah, so she went to or she was wrestling at a house show.
Oh, is this the bonsai drop?
No,
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll quit interrupting then.
no, so she's wrestling at a house show. And I didn't see the match, but the clip, excuse me, the clip that went viral was as she was leaving the ring. Number one, she was getting booed, and then some guy's recording it on his phone, and then you hear someone scream, "You suck, Maxine! Don't come back!" Now, if that was the end of it, it wouldn't be a thing. But then Rhea Ripley had to open her mouth. Well, she had to type, and she came to Maxine Dupree's defense and said, "I wish some of you um, got, or I wish you guys had to experience getting booed at your job while you're trying to learn." And she said, "It's like the worst of, that shows the bad side of being a human being. Just be better humans." And then other women in the division, they came out in support of Maxine Dupree,
Of course.
and it caused quite the debate. Number one, are we as fans allowed to boo, or should
Yes,
we just sit there and shut the hell up and enjoy the show, as they would say?
we are the paying fans. You know, maybe not you and me, but for the people in the stadium, they're the paying fans. They paid a ticket to see those people perform. And if you put in front of them shit, they have every right to say that is shit, regardless of whose feelings they hurt. And if you want to learn, that's what NXT is for.
True, that is what the performance center is for.
And
But
these little,
everybody's was defending her as like, oh, well, she didn't ask to be in this position.
she
And
didn't say no. She didn't say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not ready.
well, I heard some people saying, because she was a valet for the Maximum Male model, so
Mm-hmm.
she, I don't know, did this so she could keep her job because she saw the writing on the wall that they were about to be fired.
And that's fine. I get her not saying no initially, but I'd say at the point where she was in the fetal position in the Royal Rumble, that was when the shark was jumped. And any hope that Maxine Dupree had for an in-ring feature probably should have died that day.
Well, I'm saying maybe she can turn it around.
Maybe, but if
Again,
she's you can't you can't throw her on national TV and say, "Oh, well, she's just learning." Give her a break, guys. That's not how it works.
and that's where it is. Yes, if she is learning, then she needs to be off TV. Like Jade Cargill, she's clearly still learning. She's not on TV every week, you know, wrestling
Right.
because she's learning. So they're keeping her off TV. Why can't you do the same thing with Maxine Dupree? Like, if she wants to be about this life, she's got to be about this life, but she also needs to learn about this life. And let's just point out that Tiffany Stratton's been doing this for like 2 years, and look where she's at. She's clearly ready for TV, and someone else is not.
She's only been doing it for 2 years.
Yes, that's why. I guess that speaks more to her than to Maxine.
I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about how easy it is to pick up or not, but
Well, let's take about this route. Yes, that is out of our wheelhouse because we don't mark up over here. I already stepped out of line when I when I said that much. um, but because about me, I always say I don't care about the wrestling, just entertain me. Like I'm not gonna break down. I don't expect everybody to be like a Mac technician.
right.
Um, so
But
I'm a little bit lenient on that, but the booing part, like you're telling us to, oh, you can't boo because she's learning, or she's not trying to be booed. She's trying her best. She's working their hardest. If I were to go to an NFL game, I'm a Cowboys fan. If I go to the NFL game, the Cowboys they're playing this big game against Philly. They come out, they go 3-and-out. Philly scores a touchdown. They come back out, they go 3-and-out. Philly scores another touchdown. They come back out. Dak throws an interception. Guess what? You're about to get booed. Like, and we have that right because first of all, those tickets aren't free.
that's
Actually,
what I
they're
said. You're
really
paying for you pay for a ticket. You aside from like jumping the barricades and attacking the wrestlers, you can do and say whatever you want,
well.
or well, not do
Yeah,
whatever you want.
I think there should be some limits.
Like
No
what?
need throwing n words out,
No, I
but
mean, I think that's I agree with you in spirit, but I just think that's gonna happen.
well, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, he didn't say anything. He just said, "You suck. Don't come back." Like he didn't say
Yeah.
he didn't like you're fat or
He didn't
you're
say, "Oh, you
ugly.
whore.
Yeah. He didn't do any of that. He just said, "You
You
suck,
suck.
don't come
Don't come
back."
back." Yeah. I don't think Rhea Ripley's. Yeah.
She's starting to talk a little bit too much, so I'll just say that.
That's what
You need to know
happens.
your place.
They,
Shut up.
they get a little bit.
You-
They get
Cut this part out, by the way.
their heads get a little too big.
You need to if you're going to be talking, you need to be talking about what's happening in the kitchen. You understand? Cut this out, by the way. Like if you want to talk about something, tell me how to make a Betty Crocker cake. I don't know. Tell me how the pancakes, how long until I gotta flip over the pancakes. You tell me that. That's all you need to be talking about. Are we talking about real stuff? Oh, you're a woman. You're too stupid to know about anything. But yeah, that's the end of that. That's what you get. That's the kind of entertainment you get on the live experience, not on the videos, of course.
I don't know. I think Rhea Ripley's out of line there. Although I noticed that they're trying to discourage fans from booing, at least like in the NBA and shit. I noticed that one coach is always crying about fans booing.
Oh, Popovich.
He's always
That
crying
was
too.
that was
No, I'm not talking about the when they booed the ladies. No, they didn't boo the lady or the widow. I'm not talking about that. The I don't know. It's basketball. Who cares?
well. Kawhi Leonard. He came back to San Antonio because he left San Antonio. He came back and he was about to shoot a free throw, and they were booing him. And then Popovich got on the mic. Is like, "Come on, you're classier than that."
Oh yeah, there's that. Which naturally, boom, boom more.
Yeah,
I'd
that
throw
ain't gonna
shit at
work.
him at that point.
Oh, and by the way, just the last piece of where we
Steve
see this.
Kerr,
Oh,
he whined about it.
I was gonna say the last piece of all this is. Oh, by the way, this whole Rock and Cody situation. If we're just supposed to sit there and shut up, then the Rock thing, you know, people voiced their opinion and booed the Rock when he didn't want to be booed. So, where was the defenses there, or whoever? Any it boils down to like what it's seemingly is because one is because she's green, two is because she's a woman. Like
Oh, of course,
if she's a man, if she was a man, then oh yeah, he can get booed. The Rock, um,
Dominic. They don't
Dominic.
even let the
Well,
motherfucker talk.
he wants to get booed though. John Cena. Oh, that's that was what I want to say. John Cena. John Cena. One Night Stand, 2008. Rob Van Dam. That created like one of the best moments in WWE history,
Sure did.
and that was because the fans were going against the grain. Like,
Well, it's because they were in ECW land.
yeah, but John Cena was the face.
Yeah, but they were in ECW territory.
But he was face. If you can't boo, he's face. You gotta
You
you
can't. You
gotta
can if
play
you're
along with the
in.
game.
You can if you're in behind enemy lines.
No, I'm saying that's what they're arguing is you can only boo people if they want to be booed.
No,
That's what they're trying to say.
you can't boo
But
chicks that are learning on national TV.
yeah, there was this one dildo who said, "Oh, chivalry is dead. Why would you boo a woman?" And I replied, I couldn't find it, but I replied something like, "That's sexist, sir." you, you sure you don't want to delete that tweet? That's what I told him. Anyway, I guess that's about it on that. So, as always, well, and that's it for the stories, and that's it for the show. So, if you do agree with anything, let us know in the comments below. If you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow us on all the social medias. And is there anything else?
Just have a good night.
And until next time, top guys out.